Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Synsei Inc. And today I have a very special guest with me. We have Tekking101. What's going on, Tekken?
Not much. Thanks for having me on. This should be an exciting one.
Yes. So with me and Tekking, I have two videos planned. One will be us just ranking the One Piece arcs. We're gonna go through them very quickly, talk about them briefly, rank them. I have a tier list up on the screen so you guys can follow along with us. And then I'll be doing a second video where we talk about this, new Conqueror's Hockey coding and the new chapter that came out. So be on the lookout for both of those videos. Should be tons of fun. Always fun to have Tekking on and just talk about One Piece in general. So excited for that. So Tekking, we basically have 5 different rankings here. We have S, A, B, C, and D, as I explained to you.
Nice and simple.
Yeah, nice and simple. Have every arc here on the screen. -2. The tier list that I did find was missing the Reverie arc and Wano, but that's fine. We can just talk about them briefly at the end after we go through the rest of them. And yeah, it should.
Yeah, that's understandable because Wano's not finished yet. Even like the editor said that Reverie's not technically its own arc, but most people consider it as anyway. Yeah,
exactly. All the arc stuff is like fan stuff anyway.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So it's fine. So first up on this list, and I'm not going to go in order, guys, of like arc and sequence. I'm just going to go in order of what's on the tier list.
Oh, cool. We're just going random. All right, let's do it.
Sure. So we have Drum Island first. Drum Island.
Okay, Drum Island introducing Chopper.
Yes.
I'll go with B on this one.
B. Yeah, I was
B.
I was thinking like low A or high B as well. I think the thing I like the most in this arc was just Chopper's backstory. I think like that's my favorite part. Did you have like a favorite part in this arc?
I did actually. I found the moment when Luffy was just scaling like a 10-mile sheer cliff, and he gets to the top and he's like frostbitten.
Yeah.
And just the moment where Kureha and Chopper help out Luffy there.
Yeah.
And also just the scene where Kureha was explaining the sickness to Nami and everything. I'm just like this is like a doctor thing, and that's the whole point of the arc. And Chopper's backstory with Hairluck was very heartfelt. Probably at that moment, him and Nami probably had the most like intense backstories at that point.
For sure. No, I agree with you. That moment was actually really cool as well. I like Drum Island. I think it's a pretty solid arc. I think sometimes though, when I talk to certain individuals about this arc, it gets a bad rap sometimes. Like some people for some reason don't like this arc, and I think it just boils down to people have this like hate boner for Chopper for some reason. I don't know why, but
I mean, out of all of the Straw Hats, I think Chopper is the one I've seen yeah, he's like a lot of people's least favorite.
Yeah.
I like Chopper. I mean, he's in a lot of respects he's there to be the cute little mascot for the Straw Hats, and so it depends on what your perspective of there is, but I really liked his story and how they introduced him. And it was the first winter island the Straw Hats went to, so it had like a Christmassy vibe. I liked it.
Yeah, for sure. So next up though, we have Alabasta. This might be my first S.
Ooh, yeah. I'm debating between high A, low S for this.
Tough. It's tough.
It's tough. I have 3 I know right away I'm gonna put in S.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think it's gonna be a 4th because I think I'm gonna go with S for Alabasta too.
Alabasta's that gas, bro. I just remember watching the Alabasta arc in the anime, because I switched from the anime to the manga when I got to Skypiea because the pacing is so bad. And I just remember watching Alabasta on the anime, and just the fights there with each fight that the Straw Hat got was so interesting to me. Like Usopp and Choppers was super cool. Daz, Bones, and Zoro, like
oh my god, that was so epic.
Oh my goodness, Daz, Bones, and Zoro is when I really got like super hooked. I was already hooked at the Baratie arc, but I got like super hooked with Daz, Bones, and Zoro. That fight was so cool, bro.
Such a good fight. And like Alabasta was like the Straw Hats are in the Grand Line. Oda did this so well. The first big saga of the Grand Line culminates in Alabasta, and it's this thing I think Oda said at one point, and there's so many interviews with the dude, I don't know where this was said, but it's like Alabasta might have been like the end of the story at some point, and it's like, you know what? If it would have been, I mean, way to go out on a high note.
Yeah.
If One Piece just got canceled at the end of Alabasta, I mean, that would have sucked, but that would have been a cool way to end it with like Luffy defeating Crocodile. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. those fights with Crocodile and Luffy were super cool as well. I like some people don't like this, but I love that there's, especially early on, before Luffy had the just, you know, strength to be able to defeat certain characters, the unique ways that he would find to win, I thought
that was really cool.
awesome.
Yeah, before we started getting into the gears and hockey, it was like, you know, Luffy. The great thing I love about him fighting Crocodile is the first time he gets completely wrecked.
Oh yeah,
and then he figures out the weakness with water, and you think he's gonna come back and just kick his ass, and he doesn't. He gets defeated a second time.
Yeah,
and then the third time he kind of manages to pull it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not an easy victory.
Yeah, not at all. He definitely earned it. I really like the early on in One Piece. It was kind of Pokemon-esque, like with the whole like elemental resistance with like Enel, the water beating Crocodile. It's kind of reminded me of like super effective moves or like not very effective moves on Pokemon. It was pretty cool.
People forget how just OP Logias were before armament hockey was really explained. Like, they were so ridiculously overpowered. You had to have an elemental affinity or you were screwed. You just couldn't hit them.
Exactly. But next up, man, we have Ajaya, and I have a special place in my heart for Jaya and Skypiea. I'll be honest, Skypiea is actually my favorite arc, but I'll try to be objective when we're doing the ranking. Jaya, though, I really love Jaya. I think it was a super great build-up arc for Skypiea. Also, the Blackbeard speech that he gave was like top tier. Everything with Bellamy and Luffy correlating to, back to with the groggy and or the drink getting spilled on Shanks with the bandits, like it just reminded me so much of that moment. It was
such, like, Oda threw Jaya was a short arc, but he fit so much into that. It wasn't, I mean, he could have made it just like, all right, this is the arc where the Straw Hats figure out how to get to the sky, but no, he adds in layers of, like, you know, this town that's like ridiculing them for believing in a sky island, and then Blackbeard's introduction on like the age of pirates will never end, and the callback to Shanks, and I mean, like, he fits a lot of this stuff into like, okay, the idea of dreaming and finding adventure, that there's more to that in this world than just talk. Like, this is something that's really important to these characters, and I love that. It's a very defining moment. I hyped myself up. I kind of want to give Jaya an A now. I think I'm going to give it an A.
I think, that's where I wanted to put it, so I'm happy. That's why I tried to go hard, man, when I started talking about it. I tried to get you convinced, you know? I tried to... But yeah, man, that arc was awesome. And then, like, the one shot for the Bellamy punch. Oh, man. Luffy...
Oh, God, yeah. That's just the big finisher.
Throughout the story, like, gets these amazing punches, man, on certain individuals. Like, you think about the Celestial Dragon as well.
Yep.
And it's just like, oh, it just hits.
It's a great moment where, because, like, Luffy gets to a point where he's like, I know I'm going to win, and I'm going to finish it with one punch, and it's going to be the most epic punch ever. He had it with the Tenryubito, and he had it here with Bellamy.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So next up, of course, they put Skypiea right next to Jaya. Okay. So this is the thing, Tekking. If I was ranking Skypiea with Jaya in mind, it'd be completely different. But here, rating it as an arc by itself, I'd probably give like Skypiea a B. But that's just...
You know what? I can kind of see that. In fact, I was going to put them both in the same rank, but if we're doing separate, like if you take away Jaya from Skypiea, I can see B+, A-, probably more B+ on that one.
Yeah, because like rating them individually is so different. Like it's not like Water 7 and Enies Lobby, where Water 7 does add a lot to Enies Lobby, but Water 7 and Enies Lobby on their own are still like really, really crazy great arcs.
Oh God, yeah.
Here it's like Jaya and Skypiea are both great arcs, of course, but Jaya adds so much to Skypiea.
It does. So, and I mean, at the time, it was the longest arc in One Piece. I just recently rewatched Skypiea just a few months ago, and it's like, I liked it, but it's like, yeah, there is a lot of moments with them just walking around the jungle and stuff, and it's like, all right, this could have been trimmed down a bit.
A little bit.
That
pacing, if they condensed it a little bit more, I think Skypiea would have been like a really crazy good arc, man. Like,
I mean, compared to like the way that Oda has improved, because Wano is good. It's the long. Actually, I think it is longer than Dressrosa now with the last chapter, or it's just about.
Or just about.
So, yeah, he's gotten way better at writing these really long arcs. The way that Wano's broken up helps too, but Skypiea just being one long thing and stretch it, yeah, it does grind to a halt at a few points.
Yeah, for sure. So next up we have Long Ring Longlands. We got the Foxy Arc next. This is probably my least favorite arc in the story.
This is probably gonna be my first C.
Yeah. I don't think we don't have to talk too much about this one. I just think overall I think it's one of the weaker arcs in the story. And if the introduction of Aokiji wasn't in this arc, I think I might put it in D. Like,
that's what saves it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I like the idea of there being pirates coming together to have like games with each other. Like,
sure.
That's not a bad concept. I despise Foxy.
Yes, it's Foxy.
I think
that's the problem.
Yeah, it had to be Foxy. That was the one.
Because there were so many cool moments. Like, we had Afro Luffy. We got Sanji and Zoro versus the Groggy brothers. Awesome moments.
Yeah.
We got Robin and Ami working together. We got the moment with Chopper and Zoro, like that interaction. We got so many cool moments. It's just Foxy was so annoying to me. Like, it really, his character, I just don't like it. I just don't like his character.
And also, we come off of Crocodile and Eneru to this 24 million. And I think I know what Oda was going for. It's just like Foxy is a trickster and he manipulates people and he's not good at it, and he's still able to do it to Luffy because Luffy's so gullible and he can be manipulated. I think that's what he was going for, but I just hate that character.
Yeah, I really despise him. So next up we got Water 7. It's an easy S for me.
Me too.
Yep. Like, it's just it's an easy S. Like, there's so much in Water 7. We could talk about Water 7 for 2 hours, honestly. Like,
I could easily.
It's such a good arc, man. Usopp versus Luffy, my favorite fight in the story. Everything,
and that's the way that starts it. It's not even the whole arc. That's just how you kick it off. My God.
And it's like the biggest takeaway for me in Water 7, and probably my favorite thing about this arc, is Usopp's correlation between him and the Going Merry, and feeling like he may be replaced because the ship gets replaced. And that whole altercation between him and Luffy revolving around that was just powerful for Usopp's character. It's probably the first time I really felt like I understood Usopp a lot more after this arc, a ton more. Coming off of him getting beat up, by the Frankie brothers, which was like an embarrassing fight, but also powerful though, because it meant something to him.
I think one of the tall tale signs that you're a good author is like you take you have a goofy comic relief character. Sure, lots of stories have those.
Yeah.
But then you take that goofy comic relief character and you're like, all right, we're actually gonna do something pretty. Like, now he's in a serious position. It's not all fun and games. That's Usopp. And it's believable with him because he's the one that, ever since day one, the Going Merry was given to him, given to the Straw Hats by Kaya, and he's the one that always fixes it. So of course he's gonna have a vest. He's gonna treat it like a living thing. Of course, it's the Merry. And the fact that he pulls out everything, like, you could tell Usopp sat down and he's like, okay, with the stuff in my arsenal, can I beat Luffy? Probably not, but I think I have a pretty good strategy to do it, to get as far as I can. And he did,
man. Like, Usopp with prep time is Batman level. Like,
I know, right? He was close.
Crazy, man. Like, he actually did, like, he did a lot against Luffy, a lot more than I thought he would ever do. So, like, I mean, that just goes to show, like, how dedicated Usopp can be when his mind is really on something, and him trying to show. And I think in this fight, he's trying to show Luffy too, like, look, I am useful. I can be useful. And I think that was kind of his way of, like, trying to, fight for the Merry, but also convince Luffy, like, look, please don't replace me. Don't replace me like you guys are trying to replace the ship. And
understandable. I mean, at that point, because he is one of the more weaker ones. I mean, at least when it comes to Nami, she's the navigator and everything. You need her. But it's like, Usopp's like, okay, I'm a pretty good shot, but there are people that can literally, like, slice buildings apart on this crew, like,
Exactly.
And that's the crazy thing about Water 7. We just talked about that one part for like 2-3 minutes, and there's still so much more of it.
There's so much more. Yeah. I just tried to pinpoint, though, my favorite things, because there literally are so many things in Water 7 and Enies Lobby that are awesome. So, but I just love the Usopp stuff. But next up, of course, we have Enies Lobby. To me, another easy S.
S. Water 7 and Enies Lobby have to be.
Another easy S. I mean, oh my God. I want to live I mean, do we have to say any more? Like,
you don't.
Lucci versus Luffy. Like, come on, like, this.
I mean, like, it's such a standard. It's such a standard shonen trope. You know, we got to get into the tower to fight all the enemies, and it's like, it's a standard thing. But we got to see so many new moves from the Straw Hats, how they leveled up, how they've trained, and how they're there to fight for, you know, get Robin back and everything. And all the fights were awesome. Kaku versus Zoro, Frankie versus Fukuro is one of my favorite fights of all of One Piece, just because it shows Frankie just being awesome. Yeah.
Oh, man, Frankie fights are so cool.
They're so much fun, dude.
Oh my god, man. Every time. Senior Pink, we're about to get the Sasaki fights, like...
Yeah!
Oh my goodness. I can't wait. I swear, Tekking, I swear, if Oda does not give us Frankie versus Jesus Burgess, I need
We're gonna get that.
I need
We have to get that.
Like, oh my, the wrestling match? Come on, bro. I need
his
that.
His theme song in the anime is so cool, too.
Yeah.
Like, when he charges up on the cola, and it's just, you just hear it. There's freaking trumpets in the background. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a Frankie fight.
This is a Frankie fight, man. So next up we have the post Enies Lobby arc that's on here.
Oh, okay, that. I mean, like, I give it like a B. Yeah. We found out about the Yonko. We got a lot of lore.
Yeah,
in this
we got
one,
like a
so,
little, these little like post arcs. We get like some info dump stuff, so they're pretty cool. Yeah, I have to give it a B. We don't have to talk about that one too much. This next one though, this is gonna be probably controversial because some people think that this is besides the Foxy arc the weakest arc. I disagree. I love this arc a lot, and it's Thriller Bark.
Really? A lot of people think this is a weak one.
Yeah,
okay.
I hear this so much. I fight for my life for Skypiea and Thriller Bark. I fight for my life, Tekking. Like they,
I would give I would give Thriller Bark B+, A-.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in high A over Drum Island. High B, I'm sorry, over Drum Island. But I definitely could see it low A as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, I'm a huge fan. I mean, obviously Oda took the whole like Halloween aesthetic, horror movies and stuff into this. And I love that, and I love the like the zombie idea. Moria as a villain was a little bit annoying. He's a little bit weak. Just because of his personality and everything. But I think everything that happens there with the introduction of Brook and the zombies and fighting like all the Straw Hats getting together to fight a giant.
Yeah.
Like that. I love it. I like Perona's character, you know, like all that stuff. You know, Kuma shows up at the end.
Beautiful, beautiful. Kuma shows up, bro.
The Zoro
Nothing happened.
Yeah,
like,
oh
like, my God.
Even if it's like maybe the beginning was a little weak, by the end, this is a great arc.
Come on, Straw Hat versus Oars, like come on, man. And I know some people don't like Nightmare Luffy. I thought Nightmare Luffy was cool.
Love Nightmare Luffy. How do you not love it? It was like Gear 4th before Gear 4th.
Bro, they try. The fandom's funny sometimes. And this is the problem, Tekking. It's like sometimes I get caught up, and I have to remember that Twitter is just the loud minority for One Piece, because there are millions and millions of One Piece fans. So Twitter does not dictate how the entire fandom feels about.
That's why I don't use Twitter that much. I post some videos on there whenever I come up with some new things, and I'll post some like random stuff. But I don't use Twitter all that often.
And I'm slowly getting out of that, like getting out of like letting Twitter speak for the fandom for me, because
it's all right.
Because their takes sometimes, like, and no offense to anyone that uses Twitter, but some of the Twitter takes are a little weird, you know. So they're pretty harsh on Thriller Bark, but like you said, and I
like it. I'm giving it like an A-. I'll put that up there. I like it more than Skypiea. I like it more than Drum Island.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm gonna put it in A then. I'm gonna put it in A.
I mean, yeah, whatever. Right. I mean, that's up to me. Yeah, I mean, I'd like that. Yeah.
Yeah, put it in A. Next up, though, we have Sabaiodi Archipelago, and for this, I want to put this in S. But what about you?
I'd say A. Because it starts off as like, once again, kind of like a normal kind of One Piece arc. But then, boom, we meet Rayleigh. Boom, Luffy punches Charlos. Boom, the Straw Hats fight a PX4. Boom, Kuma shows up. Boom, Kizaru's there. Yeah. You know, it's just hit after hit after hit. But it's still setting up for a lot of stuff to come. So I would go with A.
Yeah.
But
okay.
If you want to put it in S, that's fine, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it in low S.
Okay.
One of my more favorite arcs. One of my more favorite arcs, man. The once it picks up, it just picks up and doesn't stop. Like, and it might just be the meathead in me, but the like Kizaru showing up on the cannonball and then just wrecking the supernova and then fighting Rayleigh, like it's just, oh my god.
I love how Oda introduces the concept of like, okay, here are the 11 rookies. They're like the super strong pirates in the first half. And it's like, okay, after immediately introducing them, I'm going to show them how they can all get wrecked by a single admiral. Just to give you an idea of power.
Yeah, let me just show you guys. Let me just show you guys not only the admiral's strength, but what the old legends of the world, how strong they are as well, by introducing Rayleigh here.
Then Rayleigh shows up. Oh my god.
Oh my god. But next up we have Romance Dawn arc, which is what's the first arc, right?
First arc of the series, yep.
First arc of the series. So that includes like the entire Luffy flashback with like Shanks and stuff as well, right?
Yeah, it includes the Luffy flashback as well as him going to well, you could include the Alvida fight there too. That's Goat Island arc, but most people loop that into. Most people I've seen actually just group in the Luffy flashback, Alvida, and Shelltown with Zoro and Morgan kind of into Romance Dawn.
Let's just do that, because I don't think there's anything else here that speaks for the Zoro stuff.
And then the first standalone arc after Romance Dawn is Orangetown with Buggy, because that's like, because those first 3 arcs, man, they're really quick. They're really, you know. So I would give it an A, just because, you know, it kicks off the story. I think it's a pretty powerful way to do it. I don't go back and reread those moments or rewatch it very often unless I'm making a video. But I think it's pretty powerful in its own right.
Exactly. If we're including the meeting of Zoro as well, like we're including that, Zoro, definitely have to put in A for me. For sure, for sure. So next up we have Amazon Lily. Now Amazon Lily for me, I didn't like it like a lot. It wasn't bad, but like it wasn't like super great either, like for me.
I'm kind of debating whether to put this into C.
Yeah, low key, I was thinking C as well. Like,
yeah, there's another one I have in C too, other than I have written down. But I'm gonna go with C. I feel, because a lot of it's just setup.
It's just setup stuff.
And we introduce Boa.
Yeah,
and it's like cool. Okay, cool.
The Kuja Pirates, though, by the way, just to talk about them real quick, to give them some props. One of the strongest like tribes in One Piece, man. These guys are insane.
Yeah. I can't wait to see how this is going to go down with, like, Kobe and the Marines going after them, because it's like, we only get to see a little bit of them, but they introduced, like Margaret had hockey and her arrows, and that was, like, before we even really knew how this whole thing worked. Her
like, her sister's also showing advanced techniques early on as well. Like, it's kind of, it's really, they're strong. They're just strong. What do you think about, what do you think about Fujitora going with Kobe? The only reason I say that is because like of him just being blind is like the perfect counter to
that. Would be an interesting, considering his whole mentality and the fact that he's blind, that would be like the perfect counter. And it's like, you know, if the Marines are serious, they would have to send admirals to bring in these warlords. And plus, especially since this isn't just a warlord like Mihawk, this is an entire island that she rules over, of really badass Kuja soldiers. So, like, Fujitora and Kobe, I could see that. That would be crazy.
Cool. That'd be awesome. Next up, we have Impel Down. I love Impel Down.
Okay, I have to put this as S. This is my favorite arc of all of One Piece.
Okay.
Like, I have to.
Okay, I was going to say, like, I'm not even mad. I was going to say high A, but I'll definitely put in S for you, for sure. Cause,
I mean, that's fine. You can put it in A plus or whatever.
I'm going to put it in S. I'll put it in S. It's your favorite arc, Tekken. We have to put it in S.
I am an Impel Down fanboy. I love the references to, like, Dante's Inferno and the Buddhist hell stuff. We get to see Baroque works again. I love the introduction of Ivankov and the New Kama Land, and Bon Clay comes back. Oh, God. And then there's, like, the prison break out of it with Magellan hot on their heels. You got Blackbeard in there. It's insanity. Jinbei, Crocodile. My God.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Definitely put in S. I'm not mad at S at all, man. This arc, like, I love this. This whole, like, Summit War saga was, like, just spot on gas. Like, everything about it leading up into Maureen Ford. Like, as you said, the Dante's Inferno references, awesome. The Bon Clay moment was super powerful on the Snail Sponder call. One of my favorite moments in this story. Probably, I think that's one of the times in the story I teared up. I teared up a few times. in One Piece.
Yeah, I did when the Mary not when I read it, but when I saw it in the anime, I got a little teary eyed when the Mary was burned and Dear Friends by Tri playing cues up in the background.
Oh, the anime,
you know, like,
the OSTs, man, that's what gets you. It's those
yeah,
OSTs,
yeah.
bro. Like, you'll be fine, you'll read it, you're like, oh, this is really sad. But then you watch the anime and you hear that OST
Dude,
go.
Even 2 weeks ago when they did the he laughed scene, and it's like they dusted off Memories, which is the first One Piece ending, to use that again, and I'm like, oh my god, that was beautiful.
Yeah, like,
you know,
it's it be hitting, Them OSTs, you gotta watch out for those, bro. So the next up we have Maureen Ford. So I want to put Maureen Ford in S, but what about you?
Yeah, I put S in there too. Because this was literally the pivotal turning point for the entire series. Like, this is the big climactic finale to part 1 to the first half of the story. We find out about Whitebeard mainly here. Blackbeard reveals his plans. It's a little chaotic because of all the fights happening, but I think Oda did it pretty well. And yeah.
It was a ton going on in a short
So
amount
much.
of chapters. But I wish so much, Tekking, that I could like somehow go back in time and just read some of these goated arcs like week to week
as they came out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. When did you start reading it weekly?
When I started reading it weekly, the Odin flashback was like almost done. So like
oh wow, so you're more recent.
Yeah, I'm very
right? Yeah,
recent.
because you told me. Yeah, you did tell me you just got caught up. I remember that. Yeah, I started reading it. I was in high school, right? Impel Down, which is why it's my favorite arc, because it got me back into it. And going into Maureen Ford. So reading Maureen Ford on a weekly basis, oh my god, let me tell you, there's one chapter that is nothing but double pages. It's like 7 pages because there's so many double spreads. It's so good.
Oh man,
you know?
yeah. There's so many times, and that's why I got so emotional when I did my One Piece review for Chapter 1000, because that's the first time I've ever got to be a part of a big moment for the One Piece community, like because I was so new to it.
I remember like when the time skip happened and waiting like a month for it to happen was just, I wasn't doing videos for it at that point, but it's like it was so crazy to be part of that when it actually went down.
That's so
Chapter
awesome.
1000, that was a good. I'm glad you were able to get caught up for that, because it was that was a
I
good
got
one.
super emotional in my review, but it's just like because like if you really think about it, man, and this is like our livelihood, so it's like One Piece is not only like doesn't only mean a lot to us because of just like how we've been sticking with it and how like doing content, but it's also providing us a way to live, so it's like
it really is.
So it's just kind of like it adds extra emotion to everything.
It does. I mean, this is kind of a weird thing to say on Oda's part, but I'm like, hey, I kind of want him to write an ending to the story, so when I'm there reviewing it, like, I want his ending to make me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
I don't know how he could do that, but I'm like, I want to read this and cry. That's how I know that this is the ending and it was a perfect story. There you go.
Yeah. I think One Piece, no matter what's going to go down in history as
oh,
one
absolutely.
of the
It already
stories
is.
ever told.
Guinness World Record,
Yeah.
It's great.
It's just for sure. Next up, we have the post-war arc. Another one of those just post arcs.
Okay. Yeah, well, this does include the Sabo flashback. Yeah. I'd put it in B, like with the post arc of Enies Lobby.
Yeah,
but
I'm not mad at B at all. That's what I was thinking as well. So next up we have the Return to Sabaiodi arc, and this is
starting off
the time
skip. Yeah. B again, I guess.
Yeah, it was hype. It was definitely hype. But nothing too special, right?
No, it was Oda reserving for like, okay, I'll show you a little bit about what they can do, but I have to disperse that over the.
I think in the next one, Fishman Island, I think this is when Oda was like, okay, let me show you more of what these guys can do, because I really feel like Cody Jones. I do respect Cody Jones' character for like what it was meant to be, because he was really supposed to be an embodiment of hatred.
Yeah, he was meant to be. I grew up in this environment where humans did nothing to me, but because I was in this environment raised by like Arlong, I just hated humans from day one.
And I understood that as far as his character goes. On a strength level, I think that his character was more so used to show off the Straw Hats. Like him and his crew, they weren't too like strong compared to the Straw Hats at this time. And I think that was Oda's way of like, that last group fight was a way of like, hey, let me show you some of the new cool things that these guys have learned over the time skipping they can do. But as far as like character writing, though, I do respect what Hody Jones was meant to be and what Fishman Island was meant to be for the fishmen. But
I love the line that Fukaboshi has near the end where it's just like, you know, Straw Hat, you don't need to save everybody. Just reset it to 0. Just get us back to 0 and so we can start again, you know?
Exactly.
Because we failed in all of these ways. But, you know, and then Horde, I mean, the new Fishman Pirates were basically just like, okay, they're really strong. Like, if the pre-time skip Straw Hats fought them,
of course.
I think they would have won, but they would have struggled. And here, they're just, like, one shot, dead, done, you know?
Exactly. Just a show-off tool as far as strength, but that's fine. I think Fishman Island is also another arc that gets, like, crapped on a little bit in the community, but I think I would be comfortable giving Fishman Island like a B.
You know what? Yeah, I would give it a B too. I think it might have just been because of the fact that, you know, you understand, this was built up for years. Like, ever since they left Ennie's lobby, they were like, after Water 7, it's going to be Fishman Island next. And so we had Thriller Bark, and then Sabaiodi, and then Maureen Ford, Impel Down, a time skip. You know, it took a while to finally get there.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, it was a good arc, but not, like, worth that years and years of
I think, exactly. The expectations just didn't get, like, met, I feel like, maybe. That's fine. This next arc, though, is probably another arc I want to put in C. I'm wondering if this is the one you're talking about. It's Punk Hazard.
No, it actually wasn't. I would put Punk Hazard in B.
B? Okay, that's fine. I'll put it in B. I was thinking C. It's like... I just like it less, I think, than Fishman Island. I
definitely like Punk Hazard more.
You think you like it more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reading it through, I definitely liked it more.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that take at all. We definitely can put it in B. Punk Hazard had some interesting moments. We met Kinemon for the first time. So that was pretty cool.
We got Law back.
Yeah, Law back.
Yeah.
We had Smoker versus Virgo was really cool, especially in the anime. They did a really good job with that animated.
Reintroducing Law and Smoker, I think, was a big bonus for me with Punk Hazard.
For sure.
Yeah.
The Monet moment with Zoro, that was really cool.
That was a really badass moment. Yeah,
The Yeti Cool brothers, we got that meme. So
yeah, they were like, but okay, they were a meme at the end of the day, so they're immortalized in that.
Yeah, exactly. Just for the meme, you know. So there's some cool moments in there. Then we got Dressrosa. Dressrosa, I love Dressrosa. I probably want to put in A, but what do you?
Yeah, I would go A. I wouldn't go quite S with it. It's the same thing with, like, not so much as Skypiea, but I remember reading it and thinking, like, all right, it is like a long arc, and there are a few points where I'm like, it was like during the fights, because every one of the Grand Fleet members kind of got their own chapters. And so, like, I remember a lot of people didn't care much for, like, the Leo chapter. It's just like, okay, whatever, you know, like, let's get to the main fights here.
I didn't even realize all of that, because, like, I was binging it, so I just wasn't really paying attention to the minute details.
week by week, it was a little drag. It was dragging a little bit near in the middle, at least for me. But yeah, when you finally get to the point where he's fighting Doflamingo, it's in Law's there too. It's just absolutely unreal.
For sure. Everything about Dressrosa, I heard on the week, like you said, it was pretty long, but just binging it, I feel like my opinion was a little different, of course, and that's just going to happen when you binge things. But I loved a lot of it. Kiros was like one of my favorite characters in this arc.
Dude, I love Kiros.
He's so badass, man. Like when he was like tied up and he cut his own leg off, like oh my god, like that was
the
crazy.
fact that he just spends the entire part of that arc like with one leg fighting against like Diamante and everybody with one leg. It's just like he's such a boss.
It's insane, man. Like even as a toy, he's doing this thing. Then he comes back. The Diamante fight, like you said, crazy. I don't know, man. Dressrosa was awesome. I loved it. Like
a lot of people, claim that it's very similar and parallel to Alabasta because it's like, Doflamingo took over Dressrosa, Crocodile Alabasta. There's a princess, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think what Oda was going for was like, Alabasta was like Crocodile trying to take it over, and here's what would have happened if he did take it over, because Doflamingo did. And of course, this ties into Reverie later with Cobra and Riku as they do their big speech, and it eventually leads to the end of the Warlord system. So this was a pretty pivotal arc.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So next up we have Zoe. What do you think about Zoe? I'm a biased with Zoe because the Manx are here, so
I like Carrot, you know, hashtag not a furry, but she's a funny girl.
Yeah.
You know, Zoe, I would go with, I would go with B.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not mad with
Yeah.
B. Raizo's safe moment was awesome. Jack versus the Dukes was awesome. I mean, it just wasn't a ton. There just wasn't a ton in the arc, but it was pretty cool. We got the Sanji stuff, which was like build up to Whole Cake. Got, you know, Bae showing up, stuff like that.
It was another setup because
Yeah.
you just had this big thing with Punk Hazard, Dressrosa. Now we have to set up the stuff for. Actually, Zoe is very pivotal because Zoe literally sets up Totland and then where we're at right now with Wano.
Exactly. So, I'm gonna put it like high B.
Okay,
I'll leave it in
that's
B.
fair. B's good.
So we have Whole Cake Island up next. What do you think about Whole Cake Island, Tekking?
I really should put this in A, but B is kind of. What do you think?
I want to put it. I want to put it in B as well.
Yeah.
I'll put it in high B because I feel like it should be an A, but I really just don't want to put it in A.
It's like if you get a thing on a test, it's like 90% is an A and A minus. This is like an 89.9 kind of B plus. You know,
I don't want to put it in A, man. Like
Luffy versus Katakuri was cool. It was cool, you know. We got to see. I wish Katakuri would have been introduced earlier in the arc instead of like in the
later.
like. Oh, he's right here, right before the final battle. He shows up. You know,
we get that moment with him like towards the end where we see him. He's standing like as they're like going in or whatever. We get to see him for the first time. He uses future sight. Awesome. But it would have been cool, like you said, if we got to see him like earlier on, maybe develop his character a little bit. Like
this was right around the time I started reviewing it weekly, and I remember when Katakuri first showed up, I'm like, oh, I guess this is gonna be the opponent for Luffy. But I'm like, wow, we didn't even address this guy up until now. I think it was like kind of addressed because there were the Sweet Commanders, but never in a big way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
this arc was like, it was a good arc, but it just like. It was Big Mom, I guess, for me. Big Mom was just like, I don't know how you felt about Big Mom in this arc, but she just was annoying me. I don't know.
I will say, out of the Yonko, she's probably my least favorite.
Yeah. I don't hate Big Mom. It's just, she just, Oda just is like, he memes her and stuff, which is fine. I don't care about that. It's like a comedic relief, like, you know, her getting ran over with the motorcycle and talks like a
that was an awesome that was a
just,
Frankie moment. I love it.
And it was just like sometimes she gets memed on, but it's usually when she gets memed on, it's like to big up the like Straw Hat, so I don't mind it. Like it's kind of like cool. It's I mean, whatever.
I like the build up of Totland. I like the world building aspect. Like each island is a food island. The backstory with Big Mom was brief, but it kind of gave us everything we needed to know. Yeah, I would say high B.
Yeah, I'm fine with that as well. So next up we have Orange Town.
That was the one I put at C.
Yeah, I'm fine with C with this one.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's an earlier arc. Yeah. Buggy's awesome, but Buggy does a lot more stuff in the story beyond Orange Town. So
yeah, for sure. I'm not mad with C at all. There's not much to talk about with that one. The Reverie. I love this little mini arc. I know.
I would put it in A, even though it's a mini arc, you know, because we just find out, like, this is something we've been waiting for years, and so much exposition.
Tekking, how do you feel? Like, me and I know a lot of other people I've talked to in the community feel this way, but, like, if they had made Reverie, like, an arc, I would have been, like...
So it's funny you should say that. I remember when Reverie first started, I think by the time it started, we already knew it was only going to be, like, 3-4 chapters. It wasn't going to be long. Because we knew, the fans were clamoring for Wano. Everybody wanted Wano. Oda said it was going to happen earlier, and it took a year, and he's like, I want to get to Wano. But I'm thinking, hey, if you wanted to make Reverie an arc and have Saba be the protagonist of that arc running around, I would have loved that.
Yeah,
I thought it would have been great. Yeah,
arc was fire, bro. I just remember like reading it, and I'm like, man, if they had just like stretched it out a little bit more, I was like, I wanted more. I wanted more.
Yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, Oda is doing this thing where we're taking breaks in the acts of Wano. We're cutting around the world, so maybe during the next break, we'll cut back to see what happened at Reverie.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I thought in the beginning of this, I said that the Reverie and Wano arcs weren't here, but they are here.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I just missed them. Well,
that's perfect then.
Yeah, because Wano's next, so.
Well, we could do it up until where we're at, and I think putting it from what we know so far, an S ranking would not be out of the.
I want to put it in S, man.
Out of the question.
So making sense of Wano, correlating it to this whole Kabuki thing, it does make sense because like in the Kabuki play structure, the first 2 acts are start off slower. And the first act of Wano was slow. It kind of got a little bit more in Act 2, but Act 3 is where like the rising action starts, and like it is kind of following that to a T. Like
it is following that to a T. Act 3 is supposed to be rising action. That's the thing that's like throwing me off because we've been in Act 3 for like almost 2 years now,
bro.
And Act 4 is supposed to be the final climactic battle. And then Act 5 is the speedy resolution. It's supposed to be basically like, we beat Kaido, all right, bye, everybody. And then it's supposed to be like that.
I'm at the point now, I found out that there's also 3 act there's also 3 act
there's different structures. Yeah.
So, like, I was like, man, if this Act 3 keeps up and doesn't end, it might just end here in Act 3. Like,
I mean, we've been with it for so long, it's, like, insane.
Yeah, because it's... But, yeah, I think, like, Act 3, if they... And I know Oda will, but when Oda lands this plane, like correctly, this arc is going to be like one of the greats. Like
we said earlier, it's already longer than it's the longest arc in One Piece so far. I think the way it's broken up helps it definitely. Also because Skypiea and Dressrosa took place in like one day or a span of a few days. This takes place over weeks, and I think that helps. But yeah, like, this is a final showdown between 2 Yonko and the Straw Hats and the Supernovas. So, obviously, you have to bring the big guns, so to speak. And I think Oda is really doing that. He understands how important this is. And after this is over, we're going into, like, the final saga of One Piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I'm definitely feeling S, so I'm gonna put it there.
Who knows? Oda might completely, like, the ending of this could be horrible, and it would be like, oh man, this is one of the worst arcs ever, and how it ended, but for right now, it's an S.
For me, yeah.
Yeah,
so
I'm pretty sure
next up we have Syrup Village. I'm cool with a B.
C.
Oh, you wanna put in C?
C or B? Well, yeah, I kind of put it in between, because I like it more than Orange Town, but these are, like, the early arcs,
sure,
and,
that's fine.
yeah.
That's fine. I'll put it in C. I was thinking, like, low B, like, high C, so that's fine. I'll put it in C.
I did put Baratier in B, so
Baratier?
I mean, like, yeah, you could, because of Sanji, and I like, that was my favorite Straw Hat at the beginning. So
yeah, I like Baratier as well. I think that was one of the stronger early arcs. I had Baratier in A, so you have him in B, so I'll put it high B. Me in the middle. And then we have Arlong Park. I think Arlong Park is A, but what do you think?
I A for Arlong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arlong Park. Yeah.
That one. Yeah, I mean that one, like, at the point there, that's the climax of the East. And if that's like, if you can make it to the Arlong Park in One Piece, like you're watching the anime, that's the point where I think you would be, like, most people would be hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baratier, that Baratier, Arlong Park kind of area, like, yeah, that's when I was like, yeah, this is good. Like, this is really good. I like this.
There's a lot of arcs. There's a lot of arcs that are there for setup, and they might be a little bit, to get through. But yeah, at this point, it's like you're a One Piece fan at this point, or it's like maybe not.
Maybe it's not for you, exactly. Yeah. So next up we have Logtown.
Oh, Logtown, yeah. I put that as a B.
B, yeah, I'm fine with B as well. That dragon smoker moment was super hype, man.
The dragon smoker moment, the whole symbolism of it, like the
correlating to Roger.
It's like just a little once again, and Zoro getting his swords. That's also huge.
Yeah, that was big.
I love that episode.
Yeah, little smaller arc, but like jam packed with some stuff. I like this.
Oda had to throw one more thing in there before we got to the Grand Line.
Exactly. Yeah. So next up we have Reverse Mountain.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, like, that's just a little mini arc. I would probably put it as, well, just because of the moments with Crocus and explaining like the Grand Line and like Laugh Tale and everything. I guess B.
I
would maybe C. I don't know.
Got
it's a really short arc.
Got Laboon. Laboon was cool. No, looking in hindsight with Brook and his backstory, it's extra cool. But if we're just doing it, I'm fine with C. The C.
We could do C that's fine.
All right. Next up we have Whiskey Peak.
C.
C. Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
And then we have Little Garden. Is the last one.
C.
C. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is I think this is a really good. I think we did a good job. I think we did a good job here.
I can't see it, but I'm visualizing it, and it looks cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through it. So we have S tier ranks. We have Alabasta, Water 7, and Aslabi, Sabaiodi, Impel Down, Maureen Ford, Wano Country. I think that those are all fine.
Objectively correct in all regards. Yeah, there we go.
A tier. So we have Jaya, Thriller Bark, Romance Dawn, Dressrosa, Reverie, Arlong Park. Again, I think that's great. And then we have B's. We have Barate, Whole Cake, Skypea, Zoe, Drum Island, Post Enislabi, Post War, Return to Sabaiodi, Fishman Island, Punk Hazard, and Locktown, which I think, again, those are good B's. And then in C, we have Reverse Mountain, Long Ring, Longland, Amazon Lily, Syrup Village, Orange Town, Whiskey Peak, and Little Garden. I think this is a good tier list. For sure. Yeah,
nothing in the D. I put the Rainbow Mist arc in D tier. There you go.
Rainbow.
There you go.
I actually have not watched any filler arcs yet in the anime.
I would watch, honestly, one that I would put probably in like the A tier is the G8 arc. Is that the Navarone arc? I mean, that is probably the. I would say not only is it the best filler in One Piece, hands down, it is one of the best fillers in all of anime I've seen. Fillers don't have to suck, and if you put enough writing into it, and if you care about the series, you can make some cool stuff with those.
No, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, man, this was awesome. So, guys, this is our tier list me and Tekking did. We're gonna go ahead and end the video here. Make sure you guys check down the description link. If you're not already subscribed to Tekking, make sure you go subscribe to him, check him out. Also,
why, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Also, Discord link will be down there as well. Make sure you join that Discord link to be updated on everything that I'm doing. And comment down below if you agree with our tier list, even though me and Tekking already know it's objectively correct in every way possible.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
But,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, right there.
You still want your opinions, of course. And yes. Guys, I will see you in the next video.
Later.